Good health to you.
I've been hearing some quite wild stories about hair.
People do prattle on. It happened a long time ago, and I've heard some crazy tales myself.
And what's your version of what happened?
Hare was a stuck-up knob. He came here with nothing to show but his bare arse. But he thought he could have anything he pointed at. All because he was of noble stock.
Whatever became of him?
Oh, you must have heard. He killed one of the armed men that served Sir Henry of Lipa, and they sentenced him to hang. Except he scapered right out of the castle dungeon.
How did he manage that?
Nobody knows, but I'll bet he had help from someone up at the castle.
And what was your wife's role in all this?
He had his eye on her, and she didn't want him. That's all. And it had nothing to do with what happened later.
I heard that he was a sorcerer.
And I've heard there's blooming roses on Rattay Gallows at Christmas. A sorcerer. Bah! Hare was a ruffian, but there was nothing supernatural about it.
That's all I need. Thanks.
Farewell.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm guessing Nicholas won't be joining us. Who the devil are you?
I thought you wanted to meet up with Margaret.
Fortunately, I'm not that much of a fool anymore. I was hoping I'd tempt Nicholas out of his lair. But let's get to the point. Who are you? And what are you doing here?
My name is Henry, and I work for the Master Huntsman.
So are you going to arrest me?
I am.
All I ask is that you listen to me first.
Why should I listen to you?
Because if you care about justice, you're after the wrong man.
Anyone can say that.
And that's precisely why the accused should get a proper hearing.
Let me guess. You're going to tell me you're innocent.
I wouldn't presume. I've been poaching on the Divish estate, and I'll take the punishment I deserve. But the crime I was nearly strung up for, that one I didn't commit.
Who are you, anyway?
Let me introduce myself. My name is Hannikin Hare of Zalush.
The nobleman?
I used to be. My house became sadly impoverished, and I became the master huntsman at Talmberg.
Gamekeeper turned poacher? I see. That's quite a transformation.
Nicholas gave me no choice.
What happened to your family?
My father lost his influential friends and the money with them. After his death, I inherited only his debts. There was nothing for it but to sell off all our possessions, see to my sister's welfare, and manage as best I could.
That sounds a rough deal.
Believe it or not, I never cared for the life of a nobleman. I spent my youth running free, hunting in the woods.
What happened between you and Nicholas?
I was falsely accused of murder. Henry of Lipa visited Talmberg, and the morning after the banquet in his honor, one of his men was found dead.
And didn't they have any cause to suspect you?
That's just it, they did. At the banquet, I got into a fight with the man.
I know Sir Hanish of Lipa. Was Sir Henry his father?
Indeed. He was on his way to Ratai to take charge of the fiefdom for young Sir Hans Capon.
Why did you get into a fight with him?
The fall of the House of Zalush was the work of the Lords of Lipa, and that fellow took great delight in reminding me of it.
And then what?
Nicholas began to pull strings. Several people came forward as witnesses to say they saw me with the fellow later that night.
Why would he have done that?
He wanted rid of me. We were both in love with the same lass, you see, and Margaret is his wife today. But back then there was no question which of the two of us would win her. I was the huntsman of noble blood, and Nicholas was just plain Nick. Her father's preference was clear.
Do you know who did kill the man?
No. He was found in a ditch with his neck broken. He could have tripped and fallen, all on his own.
And that never occurred to anyone?
It did. But some people swore they'd seen us jostling on the drawbridge. Of course, that was Nicholas's work.
What did Margaret think of you?
She took me for a fool. She only had eyes for Nicholas, but I didn't see it then. In the end, she could have saved me.
How?
She could have told the truth. After the banquet, I was with her. But when they asked her, she said she hadn't seen me that night.
How did you get out of it?
What leads you to imagine I did?
Your head's still on your shoulders, so you must have escaped somehow.
I'm alive. But my name and my family's name has been dragged through the mud. For me, that's worse than the sentence waiting for me.
If you say so. But you still managed to get away.
Well, it's true I had the good fortune to escape from the dungeon.
From the Talmberg dungeon? That can't be done, can it?
It's not too hard when the lord of the castle himself helps you escape.
So, Divish set you free? From his own dungeon?
He couldn't offend Henry, so he had to lock me up. But he trusted me. We were friends, after all. He led me out of the castle in the night. I was given a good horse, and in a couple of days I was in Silesia. And that was the end of it. At least until now.
And how did it happen?
It's a long story.
I've got time to listen.
All right. But for you to understand, I have to start from the beginning. I was born as Hanakenher of Zalush, the eldest son of Sidney of Zalush. My house became sadly impoverished, and I became the master huntsman at Talmberg.
Gamekeeper turned poacher. I see. That's quite a transformation.
Nicholas gave me no choice.
What happened between you and Nicholas?
I was falsely accused of murder. Henry of Lipa visited Talmberg, and the morning after the banquet in his honor, one of his men was found dead.
And didn't they have any cause to suspect you?
That's just it, they did. At the banquet, I got into a fight with the man.
And then what?
Nicholas began to pull strings. Several people came forward as witnesses to say they saw me with the fellow later that night.
Why would he have done that?
He wanted rid of me. We were both in love with the same lass, you see, and Margaret is his wife today. But back then there was no question which of the two of us would win her. I was the huntsman of noble blood, and Nicholas was just plain Nick. Her father's preference was clear.
How did you get out of it?
What leads you to imagine I did?
Your head's still on your shoulders, so you...
I'm alive, but my name and my family...
If you say so.
Well, it's true I had the good fortune to escape from the dungeon.
An interesting story.
I can't complain of boredom. The question is, will anyone believe me?
Even if I believed you, there's no proof. It all happened a long time ago.
I know, but if I didn't believe in my own innocence, I'd have to be crazy to have done what I did.
Why?
If I truly were guilty, why would I risk coming back to Bohemia? I could have died in peace as a rich man in the pay of the Jagiellonians. Only a fool would come back.
Nicholas took everything you had, regardless of your guilt or innocence. I'd say you have more than enough cause to want revenge.
I'm not like him. Anyway, you're right. I don't have any proof of my innocence. All I can give you is my word.
This is one of the most insane stories I've heard lately.
That doesn't surprise me.
But something tells me you're speaking the truth, Anakin Hare.
Thank you. And if you want to help me, come to the old mine gallery in Broad Woods.
I'll be there.
I have a plan, but I need some help.
Yeah. So, what are you up to?
Working out how to get Nicholas's confession.
And how would you do that exactly?
Simple. I'll have him sign it. I've had the priest in Janowitz write me up a parchment. When Nicholas signs it, he'll admit to everything written down there.
How do you want to force him to do that?
He won't have a choice, or rather he will have, between his wife Margaret and the job of huntsman.
I'm not following this at all.
It's plain enough. We'll kidnap Margaret. That's to say, you'll kidnap Margaret while I distract Nicholas. If he wants to see her again, he won't have any choice.
Kidnapping? That doesn't seem like much of a way to clear your name.
No? Take a look around you, Henry. Sigismund kidnapped Wenceslas, his own brother. And Divish was abducted by Medek of Waldeck.
True, but Sigismund and Medek kidnapped the men they wanted to bargain with. You're thinking of taking a man's wife who's done nothing to deserve it.
And what of it? Those others did it for money or power. I'm doing it to redeem my honor. And since you mentioned Margaret, she's not all that innocent. I could have swung because of her.
But that confession's just a scrap of parchment with writing on it. What will happen to him after that?
That scrap of parchment is for Sir Divish and the provincial court. But we'll be generous to Nicholas and let him leave in peace before we deliver the confession to Talmberg.
So Nicholas will go free, and you'll clear your name?
Hopefully.
So what do I need to do?
I had Nicholas's prized hunting horn liberated. I'm sure Nicholas will recognize its sound from quite far off. I'll lure him out of the lodge at dawn.
And I meant to kidnap his wife while he's gone.
Of course, it would be best if she went with you voluntarily, but if not, you'll just have to drag her with you.
Why me?
Can you blow the horn?
No?
Well, there you are then. When you get her, bring her here. Then we can decide what's next.
All right.
Don't forget, tomorrow at dawn.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You! What the hell are you fooling around here for? Get up right now. You there! Stop! Hey, you! Halt! Surrender! You've committed... Dear God!
Good health to you. Farewell.
Good work, Henry. Now we have to act fast and sort out Nicholas. Are you all right?
Well, I can't say I feel too good about it, but what else can we do?
Believe me, it gives me no pleasure either, but there's no other way. Take this confession. Go to Nicholas and make him sign it before you tell him where Margaret is.
And what if he refuses?
You'll have to make him, one way or another.
I'm not complaining, but couldn't you go to him yourself?
Believe me, I'd rather not drag you into it at all. But if Nicholas sees me, he'll go straight for my throat before I get a word in. The only way to avoid bloodshed is if you go.
I see. Yes, you're probably right. And what if he attacks me?
Then of course you'll have to defend yourself. If you knock some sense into him in a duel, all well and good, but don't forget we need him alive. So keep a cool head.
All right. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. I'll get to it.
Here's the document. Don't forget to tell him he should get the hell out of Talmberg before we take it to the castle.
Where would I find you?
I'll wait for you in the clearing. Be quick. I don't want to keep poor Margaret here any longer than necessary.
I understand.
God grant you health. How may I help you?
I'm interested in your services.
Uh-huh. And what do you want?
Get myself fixed up a bit. Have a bath and get my clothes washed.
As you wish. Do you have the coin?
Fine. Here it is.
I'm sure you'll be extremely satisfied. Take care.
Yeah.
Have you seen my wife, Margaret? I'm sure something must have happened to her. I can't find her anywhere.
Yes, I've seen her.
Well, speak, where is she?
Hannikin Hare is holding her captive.
How do you know that?
It makes no odds. Just listen to me.
What, you whoreson? Tell me where she is right now or you'll rue the day.
Bluster all you want, but if you ever want to see Margaret again, you better get a grip on yourself.
Where is she? Tell me!
Yeah, you scratch my back, and I'll scratch yours. Sign this parchment here, and I'll tell you what you want to know.
I, Nicholas Angel, do hereby confess conspiracy against Sir Hannikin Hare, just and proper punishment. What? You must be out of your fucking mind. Never.
Have you no honor at all? You almost sent an innocent man to his death on account of a woman, and now justice has finally caught up with you. So face it like a man.
Justice? What's all this about justice? Come to that, who are you, really? Why, you probably weren't even a glint in your father's eye when it all happened, and you want to judge me?
Merciful justice. If you sign this, Sir Hannikin will give you a head start. You and your wife can be long gone before Divish learns what you did.
I take it there's no other option.
None. But the deal could have been far worse. You can trade your good name for a happy life with your wife.
There. Now tell me where my wife is.
There's an old mine gallery, a little to the south of here. Margaret is in there, alive and well.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, have you got it?
It's done. He signed it.
Voluntarily.
Yes. More or less.
Well, I'm glad it's been done without bloodshed.
And what now? Will you take the confession to Talmberg?
We'll go together. I need you to bear witness. I've been gone for years, and I'm not sure they'll take my word for anything.
Well, I hope they do believe you. Otherwise, we're both for the noose.
Don't worry. Divish won't forget our former friendship so easily. Are you ready to go?
Anakin Hare. I never expected to see you again.
It was the will of God that I returned.
You realize that Sir Henry of Lipa has never repealed his sentence against you. I'm duty-bound to arrest you and turn you over to the provincial court.
Perhaps. But will you read this first? Henry here is my witness that your master huntsman Nicholas signed it himself. This ought to change their minds.
It might. I'm sorry, Anakin. I always trusted you. But your guilt seemed irrefutable. Nicholas was very thorough. Oh, there's no doubting his own confession. Captain,
Yes, sir.
have the Master Huntsman arrested.
That won't be necessary. I don't think they'll find him.
I understand. So, what's to be done with you now? Poaching and kidnapping the Master Huntsman's wife. You see my difficulty.
I know. I can't stay here. It's enough to know my name is cleared.
I'll have a letter drawn up to recommend you to the service of Sir Vincent at Vellish Castle.
Thank you, sir.
But if Nicholas has vanished and we're sending you to Vellish, then who's going to be my master hunter here?
There's one obvious candidate. Henry here. Help me bring Nicholas to justice. And he's no disgrace as a hunter.
Really? Well, what of it, young man?
It would be an honor, sir.
Good, good. Then I hereby name you Master Huntsman at Talmberg Castle. My chamberlain will tell you more about your new responsibilities. Good luck to you, Hannigan.
Thank you, Henry. I could never have managed it without you. God willing, we will meet again one day.
God save.
I'm interested in you.
Uh-huh.
I'd like that. Thank you.
As you wish.
Fine.
I'm sure you'll... Goodbye.
Yeah! Yeah!